Hello everyone. What if a fungus growing quietly on wheat and maize in your farm could turn into a biological threat serious enough to be analyzed like an intelligence briefing? Today we are going to explore the Fusarium threat briefing, a biological, clinical and tactical analysis of mycotoxin contamination in the global agricultural supply chain. Let us start by identifying the agent and its primary targets. The agent responsible is Fusarium incarnatum and related species, which are prevalent across subtropical and temperate regions worldwide. The primary hosts are high-risk agricultural substrates including sorghum, rice, maize, wheat and barley. This fungus has specific proliferation triggers, aggressively colonizing during warm, humid weather, specifically during the flowering and harvesting stages. It exploits environmental vulnerabilities like water stress and insect vectors, and its threat compounds rapidly over successive growing seasons. History gives us two major examples of Fusarium outbreaks. In 1929, India experienced what was called Mouldy Ragi poisoning, a massive localized outbreak caused by contaminated grain. This event set the early clinical baseline for understanding Fusarium toxicity and its rapid spread within subtropical agricultural climates. Between 1939 and 1945, Russia experienced a condition called Alimentary toxic Aleukia, a catastrophic mass casualty outbreak during World War II caused by civilian consumption of overwintered contaminated grain. This was characterized by severe clinical manifestations including a hemorrhagic rash, bleeding nose, and profound leukopenia. Now let us examine the chemical arsenal that this fungus produces. The first class is Trichothecenes with specific toxins including deoxynivalenol, also called Vomitoxin, and T2 toxin. These are highly stable through processing and easily survive in bread, pasta, and animal feed. The second class is Fumonisins, including Fumonisin B1 and B2, which target lipid pathways and cause nervous system disruption. The third class is Zearalenone, abbreviated as ZEA, which acts specifically as an endocrine mimic. A critical global trait shared by all these compounds is that they are highly chemically stable, easily surviving standard food processing and milling, which guarantees their entry into the food chain once field contamination occurs. Let us look deeper into what is called the Fusarium toxin tripartite matrix. Trichothecenes with key compounds DON and T2 have a cellular target of blocking cellular protein production. Their primary animal impact is on pigs, which are highly sensitive, showing feed refusal, vomiting, and poor weight gain. Their human clinical impact includes gut lining damage, immune suppression, and alimentary toxic Aleukia. Fumonisins with key compounds B1 and B2 interfere with sphingolipid or fat metabolism at the cellular level. Their primary animal impact is on horses, causing nervous system defects and broad organ damage. Their human clinical impact includes elevated risk of long-term liver and brain tissue damage. Zearalenone, with the key compound ZEA, mimics estrogen by binding to hormone receptors. Its primary animal impact is on livestock, causing severe reproductive failure and dysfunction. Its human clinical impact is hormone disruption. Diving deeper into the mechanisms, Trichothecenes actively block cellular protein production at the ribosome level, directly damaging the gut lining and lowering systemic immunity. Fumonisins actively obstruct sphingolipid metabolism, causing severe physiological disruption, specifically targeting the liver and brain. And Zearalenone acts as an endocrine mimic that aggressively disrupts estrogen pathways in the body. The ecological impact of this fungus can be understood across three levels, beginning with the crop itself. The infection vectors show that this mold grows directly on plants in the field, aggressively colonizing during prolonged wet or warm environmental conditions. The pathology manifests physically as severe head blight in cereals and destructive root rot. The yield impact is significant, causing mass seedling death and significantly reducing agricultural yields even before the harvest sequence begins. The second level of ecological impact is on the herd or livestock. General livestock exhibits slow growth, feed refusal, and severe reproductive failure, directly linked to the estrogen mimicking effects of zearalenone. Horses are specifically vulnerable to fumonisins, resulting in devastating and often fatal nervous system defects. Pigs are highly sensitive, showing extreme sensitivity to deoxynivalenol or vomitoxin, resulting in violent vomiting, total feed refusal, and internal bleeding. The third level of ecological impact is the human toll, which can be divided into immediate and long term effects. Acute poisoning, occurring immediately, presents as nausea and violent vomiting. Severe diarrhea and acute abdominal pain triggered by massive gut lining irritation. Chronic exposure, occurring over the long term, leads to sustained immune system suppression, elevated cancer risks, and catastrophic tissue damage associated with alimentary toxic Aleukia. Detecting this threat requires what can be called a counterintelligence diagnostic ladder, involving three progressive steps. Step 1 is rapid field detection using ELISA or enzyme linked immunosorbent assay, rapid kits for immediate frontline detection of aflatoxicosis and mycotoxin contamination. Step 2 is intermediate screening using thin layer chromatography and radioimmunoassay for broader sample screening. Step 3 is forensic quantification using high performance liquid chromatography and gas chromatography mass spectroscopy to precisely measure exact toxin concentration levels in grain and feed batches. Defending against this threat requires what is called the multi-tier defense framework, consisting of 4 layers. Tier 1 is pre-harvest, described as the agricultural offense. Tier 2 is post-harvest, described as the storage fortress. Tier 3 is remediation, involving detoxification protocols, and Tier 4 is community, involving health education. Importantly, a breach in one layer must be caught by the next layer, since singular prevention methods are statistically insufficient against Fusarium. Let us look closer at Tier 1, the agricultural offense that happens before harvest. Genetic defense through plant breeding involves cultivating specific disease-resistant varieties of rye, bajra, millets, and wheat, intrinsically denying the mold a biological foothold. Tactical field practices include strict crop rotation combined with the strategic application of safe fungicides, aggressive avoidance of water stress during the cultivation cycle, and minimizing insect infestation to close physical biological entry points for the fungus. Tier 2 is the fortress, covering post-harvest and storage. The critical metric here is that grain moisture must be dried and strictly maintained below 14%. Environmental controls must enforce ideal cool temperatures, generally between 5 and 10 degrees Celsius, and continuous strict humidity control kept between 40 and 50%. Structural integrity requires absolute prevention of external moisture entry into storage facilities, which immediately halts the proliferation of storage fungi. Tier 3 covers remediation and detoxification, involving contaminated product triage split into two paths. Path A is physical removal, intended for human and animal grade products using the flotation method, where grain is submerged in 20% salt water and infested lighter grains float to the top for easy removal, along with supplemental methods like air flotation and hand picking techniques. Path B is chemical detox, strictly intended for animal feed only, using the ammonia process to chemically detoxify mycotoxin affected groundnuts and feed. There is an important warning here. The resulting detoxified product from this ammonia process is strictly for animal feeds and is absolutely not suitable for human consumption. Tier 4 is community defense, recognizing that engineering and chemistry fail without local compliance, since the human element remains critical. This involves an educational mandate where communities and rural farmers must be continuously educated about the severe clinical effects of mycotoxins, along with protocol enforcement, ensuring local agricultural networks understand and flawlessly implement the specific pre-harvest, post-harvest, and remediation steps across all the tiers. All of this points toward the need for uninterrupted vigilance. Fusarium is an ancient, highly evolved, and chemically stable threat. Securing the global food supply requires treating mycotoxins not as inevitable agricultural nuisances, but as manageable biological threats that must be countered through genetic engineering, strict environmental controls, and rigorous chemical detection. Readiness must remain continuous, from seed all the way to table. Hope you have understood about the topic, the Fusarium threat briefing, mycotoxin contamination in the global agricultural supply chain. If you found this video useful, please like and share with your friends and colleagues. Thank you.